Hello, another video of Angry Photography here. I'm going to talk about what I consider to be a mandatory accessory. Now, I do wear glasses. This is the Nikon DK-17M. It is a 1.2 magnification factor viewfinder eyepiece for attaching to your D800 series, your D700, or if you have a D4 series or D3 series, or D2 series Nikon camera. There are more than a few reasons why I consider this a necessary accessory. Here's the standard viewfinder eyepiece that comes with the D700 and D800. That's how thin it is, and you can see how much the DK-17M protrudes. Why is this useful and necessary? Several reasons. Point one, those that have complained that they actually can't see the entirety of their image through this viewfinder while using the DK-17M, such as the information display on the bottom, such that your eye needs to search up and down a little bit. That's true, but I mean, it's a two-element magnifier lens piece. But how is this useful? If you, like myself, are using a lot of manual focus AI and AIS glass lenses, what you do is you get a 1.2 magnification value for precision fine-tuning, especially in a shallow depth of field like 1.2, 1.8, f2, or even f2.8. It really helps a lot, but I use mine all the time for another reason. While my nose isn't that big, what this does, it gives me a lot more comfortable position for actually getting away from the camera, so that I'm actually not pressing my nose up against the back of the LCD display. But as you very well know, if you're out in bright sunlight or even during normal shooting, to actually get in there, you got to press your face and kind of torque it against the back of the camera, which, while I'm extremely comfortable in that, you know, getting a hair of distance away from the back of the camera is extremely helpful. Another thing this is really helpful on is macro photography. A lot of tripod shooting or just macro shooting in general. Throwing things into live view to focus, while incredibly useful, is not the best thing in the world, and throwing a 1.2 magnified viewfinder on the back of my D700, and I've got one of these for one of my D810s, is a really good idea. This piece is $38, and they do make one for, however, I don't like it as well, for a little bit less money than this by Nikon also, which is $25. Say if you have a D7000 series, D3000, D610, or D750, that would be the Nikon DK-17M. But as far as getting back to this piece, actually, instead of posting up a test sample image, here you can see a rough value of what you get between your regular viewfinder and the 1.2 magnifier viewfinder. This is a two-element viewfinder, so you got three awesome things that I love about it and why it is worth every bit of 38 bucks to me. Get your face away from the camera so you're not squishing your face up against the camera. You got tons of manual focus lenses. It really helps a lot as far as focusing, and really this is a mandatory must-have if you're doing much or any macro work. I use mine all the time on my D700, and I have it, like I said, on one of my D810s, and I think it's worth every cent of the $38 that it will cost you. So once again, that's the Nikon D17M. It's 38 bucks from like B&H or Autorama or other places, and this is good for your D4, your D3, your D2 series Nikons, or your D800 series, or if you have a Nikon D700. It's awesome. I think it's the cat's ass. Two-element, supremely well-made, AR-coated. It's actually a two-element in design. It looks actually thick here at the back, but this is actually a plastic collar. When it actually comes, it's a two-piece unit. This plastic collar behind here is actually a protective unit in case you get a hard bump, as a lot of photographers are clumsy, including professionals that really mistreat their gear. So if it gets a hard bump, it has a plastic shock collar here, so it's actually not damaging the threads of the mount that the center unit goes into. So it's a two-piece unit, one of plastic right here that's you see is free swivels between the camera body and the 1.2 viewfinder unit, which screws in right here. So anyway, highest recommendation, I consider it a must-have, and getting my face away from the camera is totally awesome, and for use on manual focus, it's awesome. Now, it's one downside, as I've said, is since it's bringing you away from the viewfinder, and it is a magnifier eyepiece, you'll actually have to scroll your eyeball down a bit. Instead of everything being in like this, you actually are a hair more limited. I love it, and I'm totally used to it. The actual complaints on this unit are very slim, and the only people that actually complain about it are newbies that you notice if they're focused on their image, they'll actually have to rotate their eyeball back down a bit to look at the information display through their viewfinder. But that's no big deal. I mean, you know, it'll take you a few days to get used to that, so it's not really a complaint at all. So highest recommendation for $38 for your D700 D800 series. As I said, there's an alternative for your D7000 series and the 5000 and 3000 series. However, I have one. I don't like it as much, but it is a lot cheaper, so you might consider buying one. You could always return it if you snag one from B&H or Adorama. No, I'm not being paid by B&H or Adorama. So catch you later. Another video from the Angry Photographer. If you like this video, drop me a buck or two, and thanks for watching.